Most of us who've spent any amount of time in church have been told that we ought to have a quiet time, and that typically looks like getting up early in the morning, or for some of us, our evening people, we do it in the evening, and spending anywhere between 10 minutes and 30 minutes interacting with the scriptures. And I think that when you look at that process and then you lay that up against what we're finding, that many people don't know their Bibles the way that they should, we have to ask, is quiet time really doing what it should for us in terms of our development as followers of Christ? Because even though many of us have had quiet times over years, most of us can't name even simple facts about the Bible, like how many judges were there in the book of Judges, or what's the 8th commandment. If we were to take a pop quiz, a lot of us would feel some panic around that. So I think when we're thinking in terms of quiet time, we have to recognize that just because I'm sitting down and spending time in the Word for 10 or 15 minutes a day doesn't mean that it's actually yielding me something of a long-term benefit. I think because we're in an instant gratification society, a lot of times we can think, okay, I'm going to spend my 10 minutes of time in the Word, I'm going to insert my little debit card in, and I'm going to withdraw whatever emotional emphasis I need for the day to get me through to 5 o'clock. And so we tend to gravitate toward materials that are going to take a couple of verses and pull them apart for us and give us sort of a warm feeling, make us feel close to God. The problem with that kind of an approach to our time in the Word is that all it ends up yielding us is spot knowledge of very particular portions of Scripture. It's never going to take us to the parts of Scripture that make us uncomfortable, because nobody wants to finish a 15-minute quiet time and be left with, you're a wretched sinner in need of salvation. We would like a little more resolution there. So I think that if we're going to think about growing in Bible literacy when we talk about spending our regular time in the Scriptures, many of us might actually need to move away from a format of just 15 or 20 minutes a day, that it might be actually more valuable for us to be spending a longer chunk of time, maybe 2 times a week. Maybe you have 45 minutes twice a week or an hour twice a week, where you can actually get into the Scriptures and read from start to finish a particular book of the Bible, and where you're getting a broad understanding and you're getting a picture for what the whole book of Matthew is saying, or the whole book of Proverbs is saying, in such a way that you can begin to draw interpretation and application that fits with the context of the whole book. Spot knowledge of the Scriptures can keep us feeling like only the experts can unpack the Bible for us. But when we begin to get firsthand knowledge of the text and begin to acquire some tools to help us understand it, we begin to be faithful to the command to love God with our minds, not our pastor's mind, not our favorite Bible teacher's mind, but with our minds. And then we're able to listen to any teaching that we hear over Scripture from a viewpoint that says, how does this align with my reading of the text? And that's a far better approach to take. It's a very good safeguard against getting caught up in false teaching. And that only happens when we begin to invest longer stretches of time and take a long-term approach to the way that we interact with the Scriptures.